Welcome back, everybody. As many of you guys know, I'm a law enforcement trainer and instructor. I train and instruct military and law enforcement all over the country on various law enforcement disciplines to include constitutional law, case law, patrol tactics, use of force, investigations, etc. And so this is a part 2 to yesterday's video. I felt like there was more here to discover, so I did some searching and digging, and I found the full video. So if you haven't seen yesterday's video, please go back, take a look at it. I will link it in the description below. I will also link the full video in the description below so you can take a look at everything in totality. So without further ado, let's watch part 2.
Please, so we can just be reasonable.
It's just you and I talk right now.
Okay. She can stay and you can stay. These two both detained me. They can go. She didn't detain me.
No, and so that's what you and I are just talking. You're free to leave at any point you want.
Okay.
I understand you wanted to talk, so...
And let's have him leave. Please.
Do you mind just stepping out?
Absolutely.
I
Thank
appreciate
you.
that. Thank you. I appreciate that. Appreciate you.
Him as well. He detained me as well. She can stay as backup. You already know I got no weapons. If I were going to hurt you, I'd hurt you. If you were going to hurt me, you'd hurt me. Okay, cool. I'll even sit down. How's that?
If you want to, that is perfect.
All right, let's bring this down. Thank you, Mr. Nicholson.
So, like I said, what happened is we get a call that essentially it comes back that someone's being combative in the lobby. And that's what we were trying to figure out is what does combative mean? Is it physically, anything like that? That's why they were trying to figure out what happened.
Okay.
Talked with them. They said, no, just you didn't like their answer, this and that. And
Sure.
that's all I needed to hear. And everything's fine. You guys are good to take off if you want to leave.
Okay.
Anything like that. I understand that you were asking about
Salaries.
Salaries.
Yeah.
As far as I know, that information is either online or directed through HR.
Right, and where were we? We had a wonderful conversation with Torres and one of her partners earlier today.
Perfect.
We explained everything we're doing.
Yep.
No secrets, no nothing. Torres, I'm glad you showed up too, because a lot of times...
I was already still here on scene. I was just on court, actually, so it just finished up.
Yeah, that's the problem. A lot of times guys like him show up, they don't know what's going on, and anyways. So, a couple of things at this point then.
Okay.
You got a report that someone was being combative?
That's just the information that somebody was in the lobby was being combative.
Is there
the term that was used?
Can you tell me, is there a definition for combative?
I don't know off the top of my head. Typically, combative means a couple of things. We don't know what that means until we get here, which is why we got to talk to the other party real quick. As soon as we verify that combative wasn't anything physical and it was their interpretation of something, we have no issue to believe a crime was committed, anything like that.
So when you walked in, were you under the impression that a crime was committed? Personally?
Right, I'm sorry?
Were you personally under the impression that a crime had been committed when you walked in?
We don't know, and that's what we have to investigate.
Right.
We don't know.
You don't know?
We don't know. So what we're doing is we're trying to verify that a crime has not been committed.
Are you under the... Sorry, go ahead.
And so that's all we're doing. I think that took me probably 30 seconds, maybe 45 seconds, to verify that it was just their interpretation, that they didn't agree with what you were saying, you didn't agree with what they were saying, and so they called us, and somewhere along the words, combative was taken, and that's what we just got to verify that it's nothing, no crime, nothing like that.
Are you under the impression that you can detain someone without actual, reasonable, articulable suspicion of a crime?
So in investigative purposes, detention is applicable. And so when we're just trying to verify that nothing physical has occurred, at that point, we just got to verify that information and make sure that a crime has not, in fact, been committed.
Okay, so when you came in, you didn't know if a crime was committed or not?
No, or you got to conduct an investigation.
Was I detained then?
At that point, yes, we have to confirm.
Okay, great, perfect. So you didn't know if a crime was committed?
We have an investigative purpose.
Right, you didn't know a crime was committed, right?
Nope.
And you detained me?
Those officers detained you, and yes.
Did you detain me as well?
I was conducting the investigation, but at that point, we have to confirm that a crime, in fact, has not been committed.
I just need to know who all detained me so I can put the names on the litigation. Did you detain me?
Yep.
You did?
Yep.
Okay. And again, you did not know that a crime was committed, is that right?
We do not know.
And you didn't even have a reasonable, articulable suspicion that a crime
We
was
have to
committed?
verify that a crime has not been committed based on the information.
Okay, so it's guilty until proven innocent?
It's an investigative purpose.
Great.
So-
Excellent.
Yes, sir.
So it's, I was guilty until proven innocent, is that right?
No one's guilty.
Well, I
Just
was
like
detained.
They can't leave. If they're calling us saying that something's happened, we have to talk
Really?
to them. But it's
They can't leave?
investigation.
They can't leave?
They're calling us saying, they call us and say a crime's been committed, and they're not giving us any information, they try and leave. What is happening at that point? We can't say you're guilty without getting any more information. If they want to leave, at that point we're like, you can leave, but we're not going to conduct an investigation.
This is rich.
Okay.
This is good. Okay, so did you detain me? Please say no. Just say no, Torres. I don't want to put your name on the lawsuit.
How's that?
You didn't detain me, right?
So if you have any further questions, you can direct them towards me.
So, as you can see, James Freeman, activist James Freeman, he essentially talked this law enforcement officer, this lead officer, two-stripe officer here, supervisory officer, talked him into a lawsuit, is what James is alleging. Now, with that being said, looking at the clip that you just saw, I think he did a really good job of showing that the officer did in fact not, I repeat, not have reasonable articulable suspicion. And as I'm talking, you'll see some case law flash in front of you there, so you can kind of take a look at what I'm talking about. But overall, it seems very clear. I mean, we have Brown v. Texas 1979, which establishes in order to detain and compel ID, you have to have what's called reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime. And then we know, based upon the totality of circumstances, Illinois v. Gates, and we know based upon what the definition of reasonable articulable suspicion is, it's going to be facts and observations that would lead a reasonable officer, reasonable person to believe that criminality is at foot, that crime has occurred, is occurring, or is about to occur, right? So based upon everything we're seeing here, it's fair to say that this officer talked himself into a lawsuit. Basically, he did talk himself into the fact that he did not have a constitutionally lawful reason for the detainment. Again, you can't just stop somebody because you're trying to disprove that a crime has occurred. You can only detain somebody when you have cause to believe, reasonable articulable suspicion to believe that a crime has occurred. You can't just say, well, I just want to make sure a crime hasn't occurred, therefore I'm detaining you. That makes absolutely no sense, and that is definitely not supported by the aggregate of case law precedents. And so the question really becomes, like, it's very clear this is a supervisory officer, and this is what he has been taught. This is his incompetence. Let's call it what it is. I don't know this officer personally, but again, I'm not going to hold water for anybody. This shows his incompetence, and it shows, unfortunately, the incompetence of the department as a whole. The fact that he honestly truly believes this, right? He honestly truly believes that he can detain somebody without reasonable articulable suspicion, and the fact that he has, he's a supervisor, he doesn't understand the case law precedents. It's just sad, man, and just call it what it is. It's sad, and it's unfortunate. I mean, I don't know how many more words I can use to describe, but it's just it's incompetence, it's reckless, and as a whole, departments need to get better, and departments really just need to. I mean, it is what it is. They need to start investing in their people, and they really need to start investing in training, especially constitutional law training. Again, this should be taught in every police academy, and the fact that this is not taught at a police academy, and the fact that you have supervisory level officers that do not know what their lawful abilities are and what their lawful authority is, it's just staggering. It's just staggering. It is what it is. So there you have it. I wanted to see if there was more. I found more, and the more information, evidence I found, the video that shows the stop in totality, this detention in totality, does not look good upon this Arizona Police Department. So there you have it. If you guys like this content, you want me to keep going, please like, share, subscribe, and most importantly, tell me what you think in the comment section below. I want to know. Tell me what you think. Tell me what your thought is on this. How do we make this better? How do we change that? Please let us know. We need to be the change that we wish to see. So please tell me in the comment section below. Let's take this conversation there. And as always, long live the Republic.